Now here I have a few action cameras that I've talked about on this channel before, and if you guys haven't seen my video, I did a comparison between these two right here, the Insta360 GO 2 versus the new DJI Action 2. And in the comment section of that video, some of you guys were asking me about this one right here. How does the new GoPro Hero 10 compared to the GO 2, which has been out now for about 9 to 10 months. I have multiple videos that go in depth on these cameras right here, so if you're looking for something very specific, make sure you guys check out those videos after this one. Now, Insta360 is sponsoring this video, and they did send me the GO 2 to review against the Hero 10, but just like all my other videos on the channel, I let them know too that I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons. Now, of course, everyone has different use cases for their cameras, but in this video, of course, I'm going to be talking about how I've been normally using these types of cameras, who I think they're for, and of course, what are some of the things that both these cameras can improve on. And if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Anastasio. I do a lot of drone tech tips, tutorials, and product reviews right here on this channel. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing and also hitting that bell to be notified when I post new videos. Now, right off the bat, just want to talk to you guys about the use cases as far as how I normally use these cameras. I use these cameras not necessarily for full action sports, I'm not sitting here like jet skiing and water skiing and surfing every day with these. For me, these are more personal, document everything that I do types of cameras. So I'm always going to be keeping these in my pocket, quickly want to be able to shoot something, document it. So that's kind of my use case. I do a lot of family video with these things, and it's just really easy to carry these types of cameras around with me at all times to just capture all of the moments. The biggest difference, of course, the size of the camera. Here is the GoPro Hero 10, and here is the small Insta360 GO 2. That's what it looks like from the front and from the side. With that size difference, there's of course a lot of different size differences in the specs of both of these cameras. Now, right off the bat, when it comes to price of the GO 2, this actually comes in at $299, and that has a 32 gig internal memory on this camera. They recently just added to their website a new 64 gig internal storage on the GO 2. So if you're all looking at getting this camera, highly recommend going to 64 gig. It's only $329, so not that much of a difference as far as price goes, but you are doubling up the storage capacity. Now we jump over to the GoPro Hero 10. We are still at a higher price at $549. Now when you go to the website, it actually does show you that there's a big price there. It's just $349 for the Hero 10. There are some things, there's definitely some benefits in there. However, that is a auto-renewed type of membership, which means ideally, yes, you're getting a deal up front, but what's interesting is that they advertise that price right away and not kind of tell you, or it's in smaller print, that you're signing up for a subscription. So they're kind of banking on most people forgetting to cancel a subscription, which means you'll just get another membership added on every year, which is, I believe, about $49. Now, of course, with that bigger size and bigger price tag, you do have, of course, some benefits with the Hero 10. You are able to see exactly what you're shooting when you're shooting it by a back screen here, as well as a front screen. So if you're using this for vlogging, you are able to monitor yourself here on that front screen. With the GO 2, you do not have a screen. You have a screen here to see what your settings are, to adjust your settings and change them. However, you do not have a screen in order for you to see what you're actually shooting. You can connect it to your mobile phone with the Insta360 app and see it that way. Now, while monitoring yourself is definitely very important, I always talk about size is also very important, because something that's a little bit smaller, a little easier to carry around, is something that you'll probably easily grab and go with you versus something that's a little bit bigger in the GoPro Hero 10. If you do have something like your AirPods, they are pretty much probably a little bit bigger than your AirPods case, and that's with the case itself. And if you take it out, of course, you have, this is all you need, is the camera, which is super small compared to the Hero 10. Now, I do talk about size a lot because of the fact that it's just like when I talk about drones, and when people ask me what drone should I get, I always normally tell them, if you're starting out, get like the Mini 2. Size is such a big deal because even though you have a drone that might be a little bit smaller, like the Air 2S or the Air 2, or jumping up to the Mavic 3, those size differences, even though they might sound small or look small, could be the deciding factor of you bringing it and not bringing it. As far as video resolution goes, the Insta360 GO 2 does shoot at 1440, and the Hero 10 does shoot at a 5.3K video resolution. Definitely a huge benefit there if you needed that higher spec. However, if you're someone that shoots and maybe edits and exports out in something like 1080p, the 1440 on the Go 2 is probably more than enough. Now, while the 5.3K footage looks really, really good, you also want to remember that you're going to need a computer to handle those larger files. Now, one of my favorite features that Insta360 did roll out in the past, which I think all of the other action cameras are kind of following Insta360 on this one, and that is the horizon leveling. Now, for those that don't know what horizon leveling is, basically if you shoot in pro mode on the Go 2 and if you have horizon leveling on the Hero 10, if you're rotating your camera just like this, it'll mostly stay straight. That horizon will stay nice and straight. In order for you to achieve the same thing on the GoPro Hero 10, you are able to get horizon leveling to go at certain angles, but if you were to rotate it all the way around or rotate it sideways, it would then start moving with it. In order for you to get full horizon leveling on the GoPro, you're gonna need to add another lens attachment to it. And that's definitely one of the biggest benefits of the Go 2, even though it does have the lower resolution, the fact that you can just out of the box shoot, you can actually hold it this way, turn it, move it around. If you mount it to an object, mount it to, an RC car, an animal or a pet, and that pet's moving around just like this, that horizon will stay nice and leveled, where here you do have to add on that attachment. Now, when it comes to battery life, this is where these two definitely differ. We have an internal battery here on the Go 2, and when you put it in the case right here, because this actually doubles as an extra battery bank, when you put it in here, it actually charges up the camera. You're able to get, or they're rating it to get about 150 minutes. I'm not able to get that much on here, but that's what they're rating it for. With the GoPro Hero 10, we do have the standard GoPro style where you open it up here on the side and you can have multiple batteries just like that you're able to swap in and out. Having the ability to swap this out, I think, is just what people are most, kind of accustomed to, most used to, because then they'll just stack a bunch of batteries when they go out into the snow, when they go out into the field, stack a bunch of batteries so that at least you're always going to be charged here on the Go. That's a little bit different here with the Go 2. Everything is kind of built in, so you are not able to change the battery here. If this battery on the camera did die or running low, you have to put it back into the battery case for it to start charging. Now, the one feature I really like about the Insta360 Studio app is that you're actually able to change the aspect ratio after you've already shot, which means if you're shooting in the pro mode and if you're shooting in something like 16:9, the great thing is that in Insta360 Studio later on in post, if you wanted to change that aspect ratio from 16:9 and wanted to post something square over to Instagram, you can actually just choose the 1:1 ratio. Or if you wanted to post your video over to TikTok or Instagram stories and you needed something more vertical, you can actually change it from 16:9 to 9:16. This is all done automatically in the Insta360 Studio app, and if you wanted to do this with something like the GoPro, you would have to manually do this in the editing program that you're using. Now, the one thing I do like about the Go 2 is the way it's so small, and they give you a bunch of mounting options for them, but also they sell different mounting kits depending on what you want to use it for. Now, the one shot I do like getting is that kind of chest shot here, that first person view type of shot, and all you have to do is hook up this little pendant magnet underneath your shirt, and you can hook up your camera right here to get that first person view here, get your arms in the shot. If you wanted to do that with something like the GoPro Hero 10, you're gonna need something like this, which is a full harness that goes around to put around your chest to mount your GoPro right here. Also, if you wanted to mount this to your hat easily with the Go 2 and this clip that actually does come with the camera, same thing here. You're dealing with a little bit more weight for you to have a first person view from this side. If you wanted to do that, you need a helmet with the mount, you need a head strap, a couple different options here, but you're dealing with that heavier size versus something small and light with the Go 2. And Insta360 does sell this, which is a mount kit, which is not necessarily used by magnets. You kind of mount it in there the similar way you would do some of the classic action cameras. I also like this one too, which they include in the package, is a little sticky mount. So if you want to hook this up to your dashboard, your window. Now, at the end of the day, of course, I don't know what your use case is. For me, like I mentioned, I'm all about documenting almost everything I do one way or another. And depending on what I'm shooting, there's definitely gonna be times where I'm easily gonna be able to grab the Go 2, throw that in my pocket. And of course, there's gonna be some other times where I feel like I want to bring the GoPro with me because I want to mount it to something that I feel like might take a little bit more of a beating. That's something where I would bring the GoPro with me. While they're both action cameras, I think they both both kind of have their own lane. I don't think they cross over as much as people want them to. I do think that the Go 2 is more comparable to something like the Action 2, but of course, GoPro with their GoPro brand, their name. I know a lot of people know about this camera. I think still a lot of people are getting to know a lot more about the Insta360 GO 2. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a lot more in-depth videos on this right here, especially when you talk about the Insta360 Studio app. You're gonna wanna know about that one, and I do have a full video on that as well. Make sure to check it above as well as down below in the video description. The links to these cameras and those mounting kits that I talked about earlier are gonna be down below in the video description. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos. This is Anastasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.